Well, welcome to SINTOPIA. We're live on Yuli's tag, April 16th, 2026 on Twitch. I'm recording for YouTube. Attention, in the corner, no, directly above my head, in the center, there's the word advertisement because I'm showing this building game with financial support from the publisher. Those are the Brits from Team 17, while the developers, on the other hand, are from France. At the publisher's request, I'm pointing out the game's Steam store page on Twitch. Since we're live right now, please post it now. It's also pinned at the top. And also, I'm even linking the Steam store page directly on YouTube. You can click on it directly up there, and I made a crash course video, or well, a special video 23 or 24 minutes long. The most important thing is an introduction to the game. What's it about? The game has a pitch black sense of humor and lets us play as the manager of hell. We have both an overworld and an underworld, but we focus more on the latter, on the underworld. And we receive the souls from above, purifying them in various buildings. In other words, we torment them a bit, free them from their sins and from their coins. And afterwards we send them back into the spiritual elevator and up to the daylight for rebirth. The whole thing seems to have a bit of a remake feel from a classic that came out about 30 years ago, I think. I've already forgotten the name, a viewer wrote it. And personally, I think it's cool when such old game concepts are refreshed and slightly modernized after decades. There's a campaign in the game, it has 2 tutorial missions which we won't play, and starting from the 3rd campaign, with a gently increasing difficulty level, that's when you slowly get into the game. More and more game concepts are added, but we don't need them. Then there's this challenge mode here. There you complete objectives. They vary in difficulty. You can then earn prestige points and later unlock blessings with them. You can specialize with them and accomplish increasingly challenging things. These are the objectives. Let me show you a few examples. Misty Mountains, Idle and Archipelago. Each one has a main objective. The currency in the game is the Fegeforo. So not the pricey euro, but the purgatory euro because we're in purgatory. You get it. Himmelskreuzer is the virtual resource used to generate research points. And that's how you can chain your own challenges together. We don't do any of that. But instead, I think I was just... Now let's go over Prestige and the Blessing. Those are the modifiers. That's the difficulty right now. I don't want to confirm. I actually want to get out again. Back to the main screen, I just misclicked. Now we're back again, thank God. I thought so. Oh, I accidentally clicked on the help icon instead of the back button. Now we're back again. Now we're going into the sandbox. Classic demo mistake. And now we're playing vanilla, so with no special disasters or other things that can happen, like some kind of apocalypse, some kind of creatures that show up, or other special effects. We're playing on normal difficulty, in a normal layout, in a normal world, without modifiers, and without any special templates. And let's get started. There are 7 deadly sins, you know that. And all 7 deadly sins also have their role here in the game. And that's where we start. Above is the overworld, below is the underworld. It's basically quite simple. The underworld is the part that we really actively build on, where we micromanage in detail. We can also visit the overworld. With magic, we can sometimes influence things there. But in principle, it's managed automatically by the little humans themselves, and they build their buildings according to their own plans. We can influence them a little bit, for example, by taking out a leader. Have them replace him with a new one. Or take out a few people. When they're reproducing at night, whenever we visit a guardian, they start reproducing less. Or we can throw them against walls and kill them. It's all for practical reasons, not out of pure curiosity or greed. I'll show you. Here we are. This is the world. This is what it looks like here. At first remember that. We'll go back in later. Remember what it looks like here. It's a very small world. People are walking around here. This is the central courtyard. That's where the people are. We call them humu, chloral humus, earthlings. Those are the 7 deadly sins. They rise slowly like that. Each deadly sin rises for different reasons. Envy, for example, rises. For example, if you didn't get a house, or if you work as a scout, basically as a lookout, you envy those with a roof over their heads. Or if you're constantly out at night and having fun with others, and contributing to the birth rate, then you get more lust, greed. You get it. When you're working as a gatherer, a harvest humus, or a trade humus, that means there are special buildings that you get over time. They build themselves over time. We don't build them in the overworld. This here is an example. These are the harvest humus. They go here. And then they just accumulate their greed here. And up here. These are the hardworking ones. That's a church. This is where the From Humus send the most sinful members of the population. For penance. They summon the population's worst sinners to them. They reduce the number of their sins. From humus, they become arrogant again when they judge another humus, so there are many sources. Each one where one of these comes from, sins could come from. And up here again, this is the central administration building. There should actually be a big boss here as well. There he is. They all have special abilities. Ours, the big bosses, are here. Lauer hohem Stolperfuß. Exactly. Is roaming around here, and they each have certain characteristics that grant certain bonuses to their population in specific areas. But that's not really game changing. This here is what's important for us. This is the cemetery. If you take a look over here, there's a clock up here in the front. The clock is gradually filling as the hands move forward. And that's the same movement of the hands as up here. Take a look at the clock in the top left. Es gibt die Tageszeiten. And up here there's night. The night is a bit shorter. And exactly at midnight, I think. A bus arrives here and loads the souls. These are the souls of the deceased here. Loads them up and brings them down to us in hell. That's when it really gets started. Richtig los. We can also see if we can get a few more souls by taking out a few people. I'll check. A lot of people are coming now. In the church, for example, yes. Here are the 2. For example, we can try to throw them against the walls here. If I click the spell here, be careful. The points on the left are spell points, and I don't have many. If I pull like this, they'll be thrown forcefully. If we do that too often, or if we throw them violently against something, if they fall down from a great distance, then they'll be ready to become souls. That already happened in the cemetery and worked. A soul has just been created there. I think so. Live, we did it. And that's the bus right here that's leaving. It's going down and is now arriving in hell. I'll click on the hell view at the top right. There's the bus already pulling up, unloading the souls. Yes, 4 souls are already waiting. Let's see how many get off. Exactly, wonderful. And now it's making the turn again, going back up, and will come back at some point. It's basically a freelancer in our service. That's the Reaper bus. And down here, I'll pause for a moment with the space bar. We're basically in hell. And it's empty and bare except for this starting building or this starting area. And way in the back, there's an end area. And those are the docks, the facility for resurrection. So that means if we have people jump here or send them here and they come in here, then they go up towards the sky. And it's definitely in our interest that we sometimes lose our customers again. Because for everyone we succeed with and whose sins we've reduced so much that they really have very few sins left, we get what's called a Himmelskreuzer. there are 2 resources in the game. Take a look at the bottom left. These here are the Himmelskreuzer. Currently we have none. The tooltip says you get Himmelskreuzer from resurrected souls with a low Sindometer. 50 or fewer points in total across the 7 categories. For the sins, you can hover over each one. Greed is especially high, but it's still manageable. You can see 2 other markers here. When you get into the range above 50, then that's not normal. Humu, no longer a normal Humu, no longer a normal burger, but one that has become a particularly bad Humu in this range. And then we need special buildings just to be able to remove its sins at all. That will be especially tricky. General buildings are enough for the others. Let's build. The first thing we do is actually, alright, you can see the second currency in the game here on the left. That's purgatory. That's general, so when we take people's sins, we get purgatory every now and then. And we use them for everything, for construction costs, to build houses or buildings here. In our buildings we have to assign imps, basically employees, the so-called wage imps. We also have to pay them, and always at daybreak. Take a look at the top left. So when we're here, when it goes from the blue night to the red day, then the expenses are due. And we pay with gold and something else, and also, and... No, that's all. Those are the key things. Also, the buildings may need maintenance. So, and now let's first build a long connecting road down here, because ultimately it's just a regular soul road. I'll explain the others later. First, we'll build a regular road here. They need to reach this point eventually. They can't get across lava. That means we can go in up here at the front. This is where we enter the whole thing. And then things get serious. Then let's add another connection on top. That costs a lot. And you can't build diagonally. And it's actually recommended if you build near the lava, because people get scared of lava and then move much faster. You see an arrow like that? The regular roads can only be walked on in one direction. And our Humu, our little humans, can't walk off the roads. They can't leave the roads. That's not possible. So now we're controlling where they walk. This way. Nice and quick, like this, like this. And this is where you go in, and we'll take a look inside as well. Please leave your personal belongings up here in the front. Looks just like the airport. Dogby, let's head in. And here is the resurrection in this futuristic facility. Which is pretty funny, because the residents above live in more of a medieval world. Alright, let's head back. I'll speed things up as a test, so watch how the people move. They start running immediately. They'd come back to life instantly, but that's not what we want now. Because they still have sins, and we only get a Himmelskreuzer if they arrive at the resurrection with few sins. That means first we want to cleanse them. And that's what we'll do. Here near the lava, people move faster there too. And now let's build. Let's build a... We can still build to the right here. Yeah, that's good. Right here in the front. I'll just mow that down. We'll put a turnstile there. And soul processing, waiting shelters, feeding stations, soul punishment, those are the turnstiles. Here, supply a soul distributor. You can enter it from one direction and people exit in up to 3 directions. We'll place it here. You enter from below. And now we decide that the people and here is where you exit again. They will move very quickly here. Now we define that, and in the rules we say that only people are allowed to go left toward the exit. Through exit number A, and those who actually do, those that qualify for a Himmelskreuzer, that means their sins are so minor that we really earn one of those Himmelskreuzer. We apply that, and then the people are allowed to go out to A. And everyone else who doesn't make it, they just go out at C. That means at C we say it goes back to the beginning. C is the so-called return exit. Everything that remains goes out through C. They come down here again, and we can build various buildings here. So they move all the way up first. That takes a little while, but it's not that bad. Up here we want to, then let's get them moving a bit. And then we'll do the following. We'll build a few simple buildings. A soul punishment. An Omnisyn clinic is about the simplest thing you can start with. That's definitely possible. And then we'll place them like this. We'll put 2 of them here. So, in the opposite direction, you can rotate them with P and E. One goes here. And then we'll definitely build a second one. And this is where you go in. And because it might take longer, we're also building a waiting line. Supplies. Streets. Waiting lane. A guardhouse. Because the problem is as follows. People always move only along the streets. But if there's a line here later and they can't get in right away, then they get nervous. When they get nervous, their hell corruption level increases. If it gets too high, bad things happen. That's why we try to keep people in special waiting lines. Because the hell corruption level can't increase. And we do a long queue. This way goes to the right. Like this. Then we'll build a waiting lane. Well, can you build it over here? Yes, it's being built. We'll run them up to here. One line up, then this one down, up to here. This is the long waiting line. Yeah. Then we'll build a regular road. It leads off here. A soul lane. This way. Then people can go into the different establishments here. Sometimes here, sometimes there. Then we come out on the other side. We'll keep it very simple for now. We come out on the other side, and then we go back in here. They come in here onto the one-way street, then go back there. Once their souls are cleansed enough, we decide everything is clear and you may continue to the left. If they're not cleansed, they're sent back in on the right. They should actually move very quickly everywhere here because it's near the lava. Besides, it looks nice when they're moving around here. For this to work, we still need to hire staff. We need 3 staff members, 1 staff member at a little house up here. These are called wage imps here, they come in different categories. We'll take one of the 3. Down there is the one-time fee they cost, so you can take them. At the top, that's the salary that has to be paid per day. Per unit cycle. This here, the middle value, is their working time until they take their first break. That's usually about 2 to 2.5 minutes. They work especially long, even 3 minutes. This here at the front is the general working speed. For everyone here, it's 100%. Helene Heiliggut costs the least, works the longest, and needs a moderate amount of money. She is perfectly suited. We'll take Helene Heiliggut.
Wow, thank you. Can't wait to get started.
We'll put her in here.
Hey, work. Whatever.
And 7 seats. People are waddling over from back there. Here they come. Still all lined up. Now, of course, we still need 2 employees up here at the front. In these 2 little houses. Just click on it once and buy it. And they all cost about the same when it comes to the one-time hiring cost. In terms of maintenance, Hectopastor is the most affordable. They all work for roughly the same time. And down there are just a few funny little details that are listed here. I think Hectopastor is the best fit. He works the longest for the lowest wage, so we'll take him.
I hope there's nobody totally ready for this.
Then we'll hire someone else here. That only leaves those 2. Then let's also take Lars Abschnitt up here. Do I have to be the teacher of what works? I'm curious to see when they'll start running faster as they get closer to the lava. Now they're moving twice as fast. Look. They're panicking because of the lava, and that's especially cruel, of course. They're close to the lava and still have to wait in line. And that's effective torture. Normally people can run away, but this stream is basically thumbscrews deluxe. The game appeals to the malicious side in you, and that's pretty much the most malicious thing you can do. Taking people straight to a place they'd most like to run away from screaming, then forcing them into a queue. It's cruelly cold here. And now she's taking all the time in the world, checking the facts and letting them through one by one. And now they're running over here really fast. Now she's getting close to the lava again and keeps running fast. Is now being treated here. Gets 1 dose. A brain scan device was put on with lots of little straps. Is indoctrinated. Sins bring punishment. Sins bring death. Sin is dangerous. Sounds like the beer commercial. And then her sins should gradually go down here. She is frightened. This results in a higher movement speed. Now they were triggered by the lava. Everything is actually working well. Do you need 2, or is the next batch already arriving? The next batch should be coming now. The bus should be coming now. Then it'll come. How many will be spit out? Only 3 halls? Yes, that's coming. It's less at the beginning. Because up there, people have to gradually start reproducing first. And now let's see if we can speed that up a bit. Let's see if we can build something that speeds things up. Fear and motivation. Fear. It makes frightened souls within its area of effect move faster. However, maintenance is expensive and money is tight at first. We can build a shame cage, an impaled doll, or a gargoyle statue. Are those supposed to speed them up a bit? I don't even know how high it goes here. We'll put them here for now and see how long they run. Oh, does someone have to work there? Seriously? Please no. Nah. That didn't work just now. Now I can't move them. Do I have to be put on there? Maybe right next to it? Now they're moving a bit faster. And for how long? Just for a short time. It wasn't worth it. Then we'll put the thing where it matters. Well? I have to wait patiently until it fills up. Then we'll do it up here. And put them here. Turn this once. But like this? The soul runs along the lava at a frantic pace. It doesn't need cleansing since it had so few sins. That's where we earn our first piece of a heavenly cross. Now comes the second. And because it's a soul without sin, this lady, let's call her Cindy. Because Cindy is also active in the chat and is pretty much the most sinless being I know. Cindy is always in a good mood and everything is okay. We want to follow Cindy for a bit. Best regards to Cindy. I hope that's okay with you. Me following a soul wandering around in hell. And I think she also looks like Cindy? Yes. Now Cindy is taking her time. Look, they're being flung up there now. Wow. One resurrection, please. That's where Cindy lands. She's doing great. She just got slightly injured. That can happen. And where is Cindy running to? By the way, Cindy was reborn as an adult. Where is Cindy going? Cindy is still a bit lustful. Sorry, Cindy, for bringing it up so openly. And gluttonous. So we've learned a little bit about our Cindy now. Her main sins are she's gluttonous and lustful. Does that fit? It quickly heads toward the house. Unfortunately, the transition from night to day is about to be over. At night, they seriously have their orgies in the houses. That means Cindy unfortunately has to hold out for a whole day now. And Cindy's going right back to sleep. What is she doing there? Or does she want to heal here? Cindy has been through quite a lot. She's a bit worn out, but she's managing. I hope she'll start regaining her health soon. When health drops to 0, the Humu dies and becomes a soul, but it's reborn. And there are a number of cycles. Each time there's one more cycle. First sleep, Cindy's happy, everything's fine. Back again. We earned the first 5. Is the line actually too long? It's still okay, right? Up there, the car just arrived. There comes the car. There. Drull. Yes, well, we could maintain a third building. The maintenance costs aren't too high yet. We could just build another Omnisyn clinic next to it. And we could put it here. And in here? That was nonsense. The one up there. There. And now we're drawing a street. Yes. Because on every street where we haven't defined any rules, they randomly decide where to go. Except for the ones here in the guardhouse, since they get assigned somewhere on purpose. We can always draw cross streets. So we'll draw a street along here. Yes. There. Now let's draw one. We can go right or straight ahead there, but we don't want that. We want them to definitely go straight ahead from here and not turn right again. That's why we're adding an intersection here. That means they go up there from here, then head up toward the back. Great. Then we have another person here who works here. Oh well, Fidel.
Oh, I'll try.
And we're building another road here. So. That's what they look like, yes. It's always funny when they scream like that. Mikaria asks how long the employees take breaks. That's something we can influence. About the fact that we build little houses or a toilet or something else, then things go a bit faster. By the way, we can also build roads, only for the employees. Only the employees can use them. That way they can get around faster. That works too. But in this small space, it doesn't seem necessary to me. We could build a restroom so that I don't take too long of a break. Someone is already running over there. Let's see how much this affects them here. Just a bit faster for a moment. Now they're screaming again. We could build a break room. Let's see if that's possible already. Toiletten. Toilets that will cut the break time in half. And there's an effective area for that. Look, here's the white part, and that's where it needs to be placed so the employees can actually use it. That makes things tricky right now. Over here, for example, that's what I'm doing. Yeah. I think that works. It's tight, but it works. The only question is whether we can still place another all-purpose building next to it. I actually wanted to put a fourth one here, and that works. Right. Now we'll build a road here, specifically an employee road that only employees are allowed to use. It's a staff-only road, and movement speed is slightly increased on it. But thank you very much. Then let's wait a moment. We'd have enough money for a fourth building, right? Could we build a fourth building? It should also be enough for the maintenance costs, I think. Or we wait a moment. I'll increase the speed to the third level. Let's take a look. Let's see if we can find a few more exciting halls upstairs that we can influence, that we can bring down here. Let's see if there are any especially sinful beings we want for ourselves. It's evening here now. You'll see in a moment how people disappear into their houses to make babies. In other words, quote, making love, or at least that's probably what they call it. Yeah, the sounds are more like there are orgies going on. Here you can see people running over. Those are lookouts. Those are lookouts. Those are spehumus. And they also have a separate function. They actually cover... They reveal buildings and take possession of those where we can learn additional spells over time. They can hardly fight on their own, but sometimes they are accompanied by militar humus. They then independently build the humu, independently build a barracks, and organize the people accordingly. They then train the people. Yes. That's what it looks like. Oh, what are they doing here? A guard post. I think they also like to sit in the sentry post. In Sen and Scout Humus, exploring and settling the surface world, we can call for Combat Humus for support. Up to 30 can live here. Now you run back again. In the meantime, let's take a quick look at what happens here at night. What's going on here? Everything looks pretty peaceful. Here. Little red hearts are flying. This is where the orgies take place, so several adults at once go into the houses. Mostly pink little hearts are flying around, and new people are being created. That's necessary since we don't have many souls yet. That means at the moment we're not using any contraceptive measures yet. What could contraceptive measures look like? For example, by going into such a house at night and casting one of those evil spells in the house, throwing everyone against the walls. That's one example of contraception. I'm just wondering if that means someone was born here. No! I think someone got lustful here. The pink symbol is the one for lust. I think they created the first super lustful guy. Lust is pink, lust. Humu with influence over 75. who can perform activities at night while some are sleeping. Like believers, they also bring faith coins and offerings there. So a lot of encouragement for us. That means we are actually interested in occult Humu. Josephine Binsom. Widespread influence as Cult Humus, as Humus Cult. Und bringt uns hin und wieder Geld ein. Look, the cult runs back and forth and encourages people to definitely keep pushing it forward. Has a little note in his hand and preaches lust. I think this up here is the administration, and where is a cult overview? Open cult menu. This is nighttime activity underway. Advertisement for the cult. At night, cult humus visit humus houses to enhance the influence of the humus sleeping inside. Cult advertising is underway. That's nice.